Hey gang, it's Platt and we're going to be wrapping up Italy today. We're going to Veneto. Veneto is a region in northwest Italy, a wine producing region. Culturally it gets lumped in with Friuli, Venezia, Giulia, hopefully I'm saying that right, and then Trentino, Alto Adige. And these three regions form what's called the Triviento. And it's more of a cultural thing. They share a common culture. Also relationships with the nearby Austrians and Slovenians, so it's more of a cultural mindset. As far as the wine producing goes, or Veneto itself, it's the 8th largest region in Italy and the 6th largest by population. There's 220,000 acres under vine, and they roughly produce 8.5 million hectoliters a year of wine. And with that kind of production, it is Italy's largest wine producing region. They also produce by volume the most DOC wines in Veneto, not by percentage but by volume. As far as the DOC wines goes, they produce more white than red, roughly a 55-45 mix. As far as wines from the region, they're known for 3 styles of wine. There's the Appassimento wines, Soave, and Prosecco. Grape wine, or as far as predominant grapes in this region, reds we're looking at Corvino, Rodinella, and Molinaro. White is the Garganega grape. Hopefully I'm saying that right. As far as Appassimento wines, how they're produced is they'll harvest the grape and then dry them out. In an earlier Italian video, I referred to how other regions they use this process to produce a dessert wine. Here, this is not so much for a dessert wine, even though there's some sweetness in it. But anyway, they'll harvest the grapes, dry them out like raisins, and then press them and go ahead and do fermentation. There's 3 styles of Appassimento wine. First, we have what's called Recioto, which they will take those dried grapes, press them, start to ferment, but don't complete the fermentation. They'll end up resting the fermentation around 12% alcohol by volume, which ends up leaving a little bit of sugar in this. And there's also a red and white version of the style of wine. Next is Amarone. Amarone is the same process, but they let the fermentation finish out. And they end up getting up to around 15-16% ABV, but they lose the sugar. It's not as sweet of wine. And finally, they do a version called Ripasso. And it's where they produce the same type wine, but what they do this time is they'll take pressed grape skins from previous batches, or what's also referred to as pomace, and they'll throw it into a new batch. And those extra skins, however, they get the last bit of juice and flavor out of those skins, but those skins also provide extra nutrients for the yeast, so they get an extra about 1% ABV out of that wine, and they also intensify the flavors with that. So it's kind of an economical thing for the growers to get a little bit more out of that grape skin one more time, and again it produces a unique style of wine. Next we have Soave wines. Soave is a white wine produced by the Garganega grape. It can be produced still, but they also do a sparkling version, and they also do a Recioto style wine from the Soave or the Garganega grape. Last but not least is Prosecco, probably the most popular wine from the Veneto region. It's a Italian sparkling wine. Some people say it's very, it stands up quality-wise to the great champagnes. Unlike regular champagne, generally they use a batch method to carbonate it, but they can do more traditional style of bottle conditioning per se. There's 3 styles of Prosecco. There's Spumante, which is regular fully carbonated wine. There is Frizzante, which is a semi-carbonated or a little less bubbles. And then finally they do a still version, or what they call Tranquillo style of Prosecco. The main grape in Prosecco is one called Glera, but the grape used to be referred to as Prosecco, unless we get the name Prosecco. Prosecco has to be at least 85% of the grape, but they do allow some blending. And a couple of grapes that are a possible option are Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, which makes sense because they were used in the production of classic champagne. The particular wine for Veneto we're going to try today is the Villa Maffei. It's a Valpolicella 2016. The particular DOC is Valpolicella, and it's from the Verona province. The grape we have in this wine is Corvina. So let's get her opened up to actually see my skills at work. So we're wrapping up Italy. While I'm opening this up, I'll tell you, we're wrapping up Italy today, and we're going to head to Spain next. I probably won't do any sub-regions of Spain. We'll just tackle Spain as a whole. So let's give this a try. All right. I want to say compared to the... Oh, one more thing. We see our DOC tag there, so we know this is a DOC wine. Compared to the last couple of Italian wines, this is the darkest in color so far. This one has kind of a bigger nose. I don't want to say tannins, but some earthiness to it or whatever. Let's give her a try. Nice bit of fruit. Fairly soft body. I do get just a slight hit of acid, not a lot, but probably the most of the compared to the Piedmont wine and the Tuscan wine I tried. There's a funkiness to this. I can't put my... I can't really say... I do probably get some green notes, almost some pepper notes. You would get in some other wines that a little bit of bell pepperish. Not a lot, but it's a kind of a tweak from the fruit. This is interesting. I'm not going to say great, but it's interesting. I think the acid level, though, makes this work with food. I think you'd have to find the right pairing. Overall, I'm going to say an okay wine. It's wine. You can't go wrong. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always leave them in the comments section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.